All right, we are getting started. So, if you're not done with your quiz, work on it after we're done with our lesson. It shouldn't be super long, I don't think. Oh boy. Okay, what do you need, Dylan? Sit down, man. Okay, make sure you guys are following along, taking notes. Today's lesson is all graphing. I know how much you guys love graphing. Alright, so today we're going to be graphing inequalities that are not up and down or left and right. So like on your quiz and what we did earlier this week, everything we graphed was either an up and down line and then we shaded like the left or right, or it was left and right and we shaded like up or down. Today our lines are all going to be diagonal somehow and we're going to shade like above or below. So that's how all of our lines are going to be today. So we're going to have to think back a couple chapters to when we graphed lines. That's your guys' favorite. But they're all going to be the same this time around. Okay, so we're going to find the graph of y is greater than x minus 2. So to do that, the first thing I need to do is graph my line. And my line I'm going to get from my x minus 2. Do you guys remember last chapter when we did y equals mx plus b?
Yeah.
So it's going to be the same idea. Even though I have this greater than, it's the same idea. So I'm going to have an m and I'm going to have a b. And all of your lines are going to be like this. So in order to graph this line, I'm going to kind of remind you guys to go through this. I need to start at b. So, Keith, start us off. What's b in this problem? If I have y is greater than x minus 2. What's my b? Do you hear me, Keith? What's my b in this problem?
It's not doing that. There you go. We can
Not sure if I should go.
Alright. So we're doing mx plus b. b is the number here on the end, which is, careful though, negative 2. Negative 2. Don't forget your negative.
Sure, Belly.
Dylan, gosh, man. I want to play big fight again. You would come in after school and clean all my desks.
Yeah. Oh, that's rugged.
Yeah. Alright, so on this, my b is negative 2. So I'm going to go to negative 2, and I'm going to put my dot. And Allison, what's my m?
Your what?
My m in x.
Your M. Your M is, I don't know.
It's
7.
in front of x, right? What number is in front of
That's
x?
a 7?
No, that's a greater than.
Oh, well, I don't know.
On this lesson, if it's a 7, it'll look like that. It'll have a little line in it. Like that.
I don't know.
What number is in front of x even though I'm not writing it down?
Oh, 1.
There's a 1 in front of this x, right? So my m is 1. And m is our slope. You guys remember rise over run?
Yeah.
C.
Rise over run. So if I have 1, I want a fraction, and what do I need to put below it to make a fraction? You remember, Alex?
What?
You remember what I need to put under this 1 to make a fraction?
Don't you have to put another one?
Yep, another 1. So my m is 1 over 1. So from the dot I made at negative 2, I'm going to follow my slope up 1 over 1, and I'm going to make another dot. We did this a bunch last chapter, I'm just kind of reminding you guys. And I'm going to do it a couple of times. 1, 1, 1, 1, just like that. Alright. So, I need to go through and connect these dots, but before I do that, remember how last time we did solid or dashed line?
Yes.
When was it a solid line?
It was positive.
What?
When it was more than.
What, Will? You remember?
Richie, get off YouTube. When it has a slash on it.
Yep. So, when we have the extra line, if I have these, my line is solid. My line is solid. Do I have the or equal to?
No.
No. So that means it's dashed. So when I draw my line, I'm going to go through and make like a dash through them. And it doesn't have to be super pretty. Put my arrows on the end of my dash line. So remember, when they've got the extra line, the or equal to, it's solid. If it's not there, you leave it as dash.
This is not.
It's not.
That's just saying.
Alright. And we need to shade a side. just like we did on our proficiency quiz today. So I need to figure out which side is going to be the true one. To do that, I'm going to pick a point. I'm going to pick a point to plug in. So you remember the first part on your proficiency quiz was like, is the ordered pair like 2, 3 a solution of? You are actually going to do that again, but this time you're going to pick it. So we're going to pick a point that's not on the line. So what is a point on this graph that's not on the line? And I'll give you a hint, pick an easy one, like 1, 1. Is this point right here, the perfect point, is it on my line?
No.
No, so it's perfect. This is 1, 1, right? I'll give you a hint. Always either choose 1, 1 or like 2, 2 or 3, 3 or something like that if you can. Because make it really easy. We're going to plug in 1 for x and 1 for y, and we're going to see if it's true when I plug in 1 and 1. If it's true, we're going to shade that side. We're always only going to shade the true side. So it's like I'm guessing. I'm going to be like, you know what, I think this side is the true side, and we're going to shade the true side, and I'm just guessing. And I need to see if my guess is right. So I'm going to put in 1 for my x, 1 for my y. So I'm going to go 1 greater than 1 for x, and then minus 2. And then I'm going to keep going 1 greater than 1 minus 2 is negative 1. So I did all my math. Is 1 greater than negative 1?
Yes.
Yes. So
Yeah,
this is
that's
true,
right.
right? So I guessed right. My guess is on the true side. So I'm going to shade my true side up here. And it doesn't need to be anything intense. And it's good enough.
You don't know my life, and you want it.
So I just shaded my true side. And that's it. We're done. So it's the same process for all of these. We're going to make our line. We're going to make sure, or we're going to figure out, is it solid or dashed? And then we're going to guess the true side by picking a point, like picking a random point. It doesn't really matter where, as long as it's not on the line. So I picked a random point, 1, 1. 1, 1 is a nice, easy one. I would try to pick that if you can. I don't want to pick a point on the line. So for example, if I pick this point right here, I don't want to pick that point. It's right on the line. That's not a good one to pick. Pick a different one that's not on the line. Albert and Richie. Albert, how do you your spot? By Alice.
No,
Get over it.
it's not. No, it's not.
It is
All right.
by Alice.
It is.
I keep forgetting. You were at that spot too long.
Oh.
It's been ingrained in my head.
Why can't I just?
Oh man,
Yeah,
you and Richie
okay.
mess around too much. Scoot over.
Yeah.
Keep touching Richie.
Dude, Robert, you don't have to be scared of me.
I'm not.
No.
It's fine, man. He just doesn't want to move.
I don't want to be right
Ah,
here.
dude, this is my permanent spot. I've been here since like.
Changing it.
started.
You and Richie, you're messing around too much.
What?
Get over it.
You.
Yeah, why
Yeah,
you
Bobby,
why you
why-
ranting?
Hey, give it a listen.
Okay. So we're gonna keep going. We're gonna graph. On this next one, we're gonna graph, and I kind of got cut off a little bit, but y is greater than or equal to 1/2 x minus 1. And I'll just write it so it's a little bit easier to see. Alright. So I need to go through and graph my line, first of all. So I'm going to start at b. And remember, it's mx plus b. So, Robert, what's my b in this problem?
-1.
Yep, -1. So I'm going to go down to -1, and I'm going to put my dot.
I would put it
Keith, you taking notes, man?
Yeah, bro.
Good.
I've been doodling too, but. Well,
Keep going. Keep going. Let's make sure, man. Alright, so I graph my b, and from there, I'm going to follow my slope, which is my n. Keith, I think that's move Robert, because he and Richie were messed around. Don't make me move you too. Okay, I need to follow my m, and Susie, what's my m? Yep, 1/2, right, is my m. So it's rise over run, so I'm going up 1 over 2. I went up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, and I'll do it one last time. You don't have to do it this many times. Alright, I got my dots. Next, I need to figure out, is my line going to be solid or dashed? Christine, is my line going to be solid or dashed? pristine. It's gonna be solid because I have the extra or equal to right here, right? So I'm gonna make a solid line. Just like that.
I hate my eyebrows.
That's random, but I'm sorry.
Just wanted to tell you guys that.
Okay, so I picked a line. Now I need to figure out which side is the true side by picking a point and seeing if the point I guessed was right. So Dylan, what point you want to pick?
1-1.
1-1's a good one. 1-1 is a nice, easy point to plug in. You can pick whatever point you want. So for example, you could go up here and pick like this point way up here if you wanted to. But that's a pain to count and they're big numbers and it's just, use a nice easy one. 1-1 is a good one. That looks like it's on the line, so let's not use it. Okay, so I'm going to plug in 1 for x, 1 for y into my equation, and I'm going to see is it true or is it false. So 1 greater than or equal to 1/2, and then there's a times in between the 1/2 and the x, right? Times 1 minus 1. Alright, so I'm going to have to go through and do the math. 1 is greater than or equal to 1/2 times 1. Actually, Kyle, you got Desmos right there. Plug this whole thing into Desmos for me, please. 1/2 times 1 and then minus 1.
Look at this.
After you're done, you can listen.
My mouth like.
Got cotton mouth.
It's negative 0 slash.
Hey, sorry.
My bad.
Master Kyle, what'd you get, Kyle?
You got negative 0.
Hey, Keith, sit down, man.
What'd
you get, Kyle? Oh, delete the, just put this piece, delete that part in front. Delete the 1 greater than. And the greater than. There you go. Yep, just like that. Alright, so we get negative 0.5. Alright, Richie, is 1 greater than negative 0.5?
Yeah.
Yes, that's true, right? So I got lucky again, and I guessed the true side right. So my true side is up here that has my dot on it. So I'm going to go through and shade it, and good enough. I don't actually need to see this dot. If I shade over it, that's fine. So my true side is up top.
Up top.
Lesson and after
Up
Richie.
top.
What? I asked before Ricky.
Not even what the fuck?
You did.
Okay,
Lying.
so you guys are going to help me out again with this next one. Let me just make this problem a little bit bigger. There we go. Now it's easy to see. Alright, so we're going to graph this one. You guys are going to help me out. Then you guys are going to do an in-class one. And then that will be it.
Oh,
So,
bro.
We
Hold on,
need...
time out. Just go.
Yeah.
So I was doing the first one, and then
Just
I
flip it
wrote
around, it's
the
fine.
problem down right there. And then, like I did the problem.
Just
Oh,
put little
this is
arrows
good.
pointing across, that's fine. They're just notes, man, it's no biggie. Alright, so we're going to graph y is less than negative 2x plus 5. So, first thing I need to do is put a dot at B. Sophia, what's my B on this problem? Yep, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh.
Put my dot there. Trayton, what's my M?
2.
Hmm.
Negative 2.
Negative 2, there you go. I'm going to say, you're right, but be careful. It is negative 2, right, for my M? And, Willem, is that a fraction?
No.
How do I make it a fraction?
You gotta do a line 1 and then a 1.
Okay, so my rise over run is negative 2 over 1. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, over 1, and I'm going to put a dot. And I'm going to do that a couple times, just to make it look nice. 1, 2, there we go. Okay, and then I got to draw my line, but Jared, is my line going to be solid or dashed?
Wait, goalkeeper.
Dashed, right? Because there's no extra piece right there. Yeah, Alex?
Why is it all the way up there?
Why
Wouldn't
is-
it be negative 2 though?
For your B?
Yeah.
Other way around. This one right here is M, B is on the end.
Which one is it?
Oh yeah, I know that. I straightened my hair this morning. I'm just confused.
Keith, just scoot your desk up a little bit so you're not tempted to fun.
I just got harassed by Nazi.
Scoot that desk up a little bit. Keep going. Keep going. No, that's not up. Up towards the screen.
Oh, is your thing recording?
Yeah.
Bad
Show this
kid.
turn on. Call home and be like, this is what Keith does. Send him a link.
Tell them to subscribe.
You won't believe what Keith Burke does in class.
Also, don't forget to subscribe and comment
Bruh, that's
or
my
share.
grandpa.
You could just summon
Oh, yeah.
summon Loki in your bathroom.
Alright, that's good, Keith. Thank you. Thank you. Alright, now we need to pick we need to see which side is the true side. So we need to pick a point. So Keith, what point you want to pick?
Do I have to like do the parentheses now?
Yeah, like the ones in parentheses.
Oh.
-1, -1.
Keith can pick. He's got it.
I'll do like -1, -1.
That's fine. -1 is fine. That's right here.
-1,
-1, -1. So it doesn't matter as long as it's not on the line. So that one will work. So we're going to plug in -1 for x, -1 for y, and let's see what we get. So -1 is less than -2 times -1, and then plus 5.
Oh, now I get it. I was like, how are you getting that? Oh my
Well, I
god.
plugged in -1 there. Alright, so I'm going to go through and do the math. -1 is less than, Allison, what's -2 times -1?
Wait, how did you just get over here? Weren't you already on this side?
We went all the way around already. We already did those guys.
Oh, really?
I
just
bet
didn't
2.
Hey, Dylan, was I talking to you?
So we got 2 and then plus 5, right? Which is 7. So I get -1 is less than 7. Is that true, Alex?
Huh?
Is -1 less than 7?
Yeah.
What?
-1 less than 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, -1 is less than 7.
That's true. Alright, so we're going to shade the true side, which is down here this time. One is good enough.
How much subscribers do you got, Goki?
Like 12.
It's probably all the students here.
He's coming up.
I already named them not students.
I don't think so.
I remember when I had
Me
subscribers.
Although I get random people make comments sometimes.
I put
What
Krusty
do
up
they
with
say?
them.
I had like a random guy, I don't know, he went on some rant about how Nicky always sucks.
He always sucks.
The comment?
Yeah,
Fine.
because it was weird. Alright,
I don't know, what'd you say?
you guys' turn. Excuse me. I want you guys to do, the first one here. So I want you to graph
Wait, hold on,
y
go
is
back.
greater
I
than
didn't get that
x plus 1.
Mr. Golky.
What?
I didn't get that down.
After the lesson after.
Wait, so is it true or is it not?
Goofy.
It was true.
Just do our
Alright.
activity.
No, do the in class, and if you do good, then you do your exit ticket. Alright, so do that first one on the next slide. The y is greater than x plus 1. Graph that in your paper.
My
Unless
stomach's
it's
growling.
forever.
I'm already done
Oh, it
graphing.
feels like we've been for like 3 hours.
Richie, shut
tough
up.
math, great. So much math.
What?
We've been in here for a solid 8 months now.
Dylan,
Do you think it would
I
hurt
am
to like be pregnant?
look at stomach.
Like not like necessarily like
Growling.
the baby come out,
I
but like
said you got
in
your
your
boob
stomach,
What?
like when it kicks you, you'd be like, oh.
I thought it was like-
No, it
Or is it like a good feeling?
It's only
Exactly.
29. What is this?
to the best of my knowledge, it's more uncomfortable than
Shut
anything.
Shut up, Richie.
This is like,
Alright,
Shut
get
up,
to work. You guys are doing this first in-class problem.
See, this is, I mean, everyone can go watch, people can go back and watch the videos and then like, to see how much I get.
Alright.
Shut up, Richie.
what are you talking about? You missing way more than
Oh,
anything.
I'm not talking about you, Robert. I'll see this bully.
We were poking them earlier.
Goofy.
No,
Oh, you have 13
And then he's trying
subscribers,
to turn off
Goki.
my dude, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're
'cause
not
he
full of
punched
guests.
I didn't punch
In
him.
the face,
Drop it down there.
5 times.
Maybe I have it.
And then he broke
Alright,
my
you guys
arm.
should be working on this first in-class problem. If you don't get it done and you don't do good, we're gonna do another one. And we can keep going. You better get to work.
What the?
Doesn't have to be perfect, but if you're not even gonna try.
That was me.
Or if you guys just want to mess around, maybe I just don't let you listen to music today.
What?
the
Guys, shut up. What?
Just saying. I could do what I do with the Algebra 1 class after lunch, and if I have to tell them to be quiet more than once, they get a strike, and if they have strikes, they don't get to listen to music for all week.
Bro, that sucks.
We're different. We're
Why
slow.
No.
We're
Yeah.
slow.
Not slow.
Thank
But
you.
before, when I had to in the
Told me
morning, you
that,
guys weren't
Goki.
awake.
He told us that we were slow. We're the slow
I
class.
called you slow.
Bro, yeah,
This
this
class is
Man,
slower.
I
Can't
was
make you
just-
guys slow.
Yeah, she on the show.
I'm
I
gonna
was
try
trying to go to
I did.
20 times.
Subscribe to long.
So you can take
Go
this
subscribe,
course
She won't let you.
in this
Subscribe.
Chromebook, and I'll just switch to her class.
Okay, come on.
Nope.
Go, Kim, go
Nothing
ahead.
started what?
Okay.
Yes.
I'll set you up.
So first thing you gotta do is graph the line, right?
Go.
So what's
that.
B?
Go.
What's B?
One.
Okay, just put it out at 1.
Wow.
Keith, sit down, man. Richie,
Bro,
stuff to do.
one is more than two.
I need more subscribers.
I
I gotta need more
subscribers. Feel like Allie.
Bro, I'll make a
Then
flyer.
follow your M, your slow.
Everyone needs to follow my
What's
YouTube
what's
channel.
your M?
I'm already subscribed.
Actually, I haven't posted
And
in a
on my
while,
phone.
so.
The one in front of that there. So it's that one down to one.
You haven't did a freaking
And is that a
video in a
fraction?
long time.
So
Me? Because I don't know what to post. I posted a video.
Mr. Golki, you're coming up.
Well, I posted 3 weeks ago.
You're gonna Overwatch Let's Play.
I know. I like how you things and then I
And is our line
subscribe to you
solid or
on
bad?
here and on my phone.
Okay,
Richie,
Is the video still going?
Richie, it says you didn't subscribe. Bro, are you live streaming right now?
No. What would I live stream for? Everybody's here. Dylan. Okay. And then what's next?
I use live streaming.
We pick a point.
Oh, that's
It's like,
horrible.
we gotta say who don't know what that is.
My most viewed video is the one where I clickbaited my sister saying that she
What can
everyone liked it.
Oh my god, I'm at the part where you made the announcement.
What
Not there,
announcement?
so we know.
Your dog.
Not that one, because that's on the line.
What?
We want one on there. Like, how about 1-1 right there? Yeah, that's 1-1, right? So it's like we're gonna guess. It's like, alright, you know what? I think this is the true sign. So that's 1, 1. Yep. So plug in 1 for x, 1 for y, and see if what you get is true.
There was a
Do
while.
it.
You got this. So you can 1, right? Because you're plugging in
Yeah, I'm
for y.
going to.
You're greater than. And you're plugging in 1 for x. No x because you replaced it. And then yeah, plus 1, right?
It's until 10.
And then plus 1. Alright, so go
You
through
guys are gonna
the
lean
math.
into
What's
the or-
1 times 1? Plus 1 is?
You know it's sad.
So we got 1 is greater than 2.
Go up.
Is that true?
Go up 4. Go up 4 and go.
Is 1 greater than 2?
What?
Is it the ones we did B?
For once, like after a long time, I finally got a break so I
So
could go
you
home.
guessed
and
this
sleep
side,
last night.
but you were wrong.
I took the shower.
This is the false side, right? That means this is the true side.
I had
I
a
need to go to the bathroom.
took a shower yesterday, but then my mom's like, yeah, take a shower so you can get that funeral off me.
How you doing, Reggie?
Alright, I need to go to the bathroom.
No, man.
That funeral.
After lessons, over my-
What's wrong with the list?
Alright, let's go over this one.
Hey, Mr. Golden.
Ah, right on the
Yes,
board.
Robert.
You know what you should really make?
What?
Make a Planet of the Apes remake, but instead of actual apes, replace the apes with your face.
Are you talking about AIDS?
You're a weird man, Robert.
Oh.
Apes.
Are you
Alright.
talking about AIDS? What the?
Oh, what a weirdo.
man.
Alright,
What are you
apes.
doing? I'm gonna tape
Hey,
alone.
what's maids?
It's not recording video. It just records the screen.
No, I know that, but I'm gonna put it in the hallway and I'm gonna tell people to repost on their Snapchat story. You watch, I'll have more subscribers.
Alright, sit. We're going over this.
Don't act like you don't want this, Mr. Goki.
I don't need subscribers, man. I'm good.
Do it.
Okay, so we are gonna go over this one. So you guys are gonna help me out.
I don't need to subscribe to
You don't need them subscribers.
Subscribe to Koki.
Alright, so start us off, Susie. What's the first thing we need to do?
Why you got 15?
Because it calculator picked you. Number 11. Your desk is 11. It's right here, man. It's right here.
Last quarter.
11.
I didn't get picked last quarter. I don't want to pick me.
Wait up, Bob.
Making up for it.
You always got picked.
Alright. What's our first shot at, Susie?
Right.
Shut up, Dylan.
Can we stop being aggressive?
Can I get more water?
When you laugh, Dylan, it sounds like a balloon.
Are we still waiting
Yes,
for it?
I'm still waiting on you.
Still one.
Yeah. So, we gotta put a dot at B, which is 1, right there. Alright. What's the next thing we're gonna do, Jared?
Oh, for a while.
Mm.
You just go down by 1. You do rise over 1.
Rise over 1. But, careful, that's a positive 1, so we're gonna go up and then over. So we're gonna go up 1, over 1. Yeah. And I'm gonna do it a couple times, just to make my dots better. Alright. Then we gotta make our line right. Not Jared again. Willem, what kind of line are we gonna make?
Dashes.
Dash, because it's just greater than. I'm gonna go dash, 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 dash. Yeah, good enough. Alright, we gotta figure out what point we're gonna pick. Allison, what point you wanna use?
1 and 1.
1 and 1 is a good one.
I know, right?
1, 1. Alright. So I'm gonna put in 1 for X, 1 for Y, and then we're gonna see what that gets us. So, when I plug those in, Dylan, when I plug in 1 for Y and 1 for X, what's it look like?
One
Yep.
greater than 1 plus 1.
Okay. 1 is greater than 1 plus 1, which I go through and I get 1 is greater than 2. And is that true? Oh, not Willem again. Is that true, Alex? Is 1 greater than 2?
No.
No. So, we picked this side down here, but that's not true. This is my false side. I shade my true side. So this one is my false one. This one is my true one. So I'm going to shade my true. So this time, we guessed and we were wrong, which is fine. It just means we got to shade the other side up here. So we shade the true side. And that's it.
Oh my god. That's actually
What?
the only time I shaded the false side. I shaded the false side.
You shade the true side. So we guessed and we picked 1, 1, right? And we got the false side. We only shaded the true side. So this one was false, this one was true. I shaded the true one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like on the one we did earlier, on these two that we did earlier, we actually got lucky and we got the true side both times. We just happened to get lucky enough.
Mr. Polk,
So I got the true side, I shaded it. You got the true side, I shaded it.
you just tilted me. How dare you?
Bad you're not a tower. Alright, we'll skip the next in class and you guys can go into the exit ticket. So, on this exit ticket, it is not on Socrative because it's graphing. So do it on your paper. In about 5 minutes, I'll walk around and check and make sure it's done. And I will put your homework on Google Classroom right now.